G'day and welcome back. Today's video, I still have to harvest some things out of the Statesman to put into the VK. Let's have a look at what I have to do. Wow, to start off with, I need to collect the engine harness so that can go in the VK. I also need the aircon condenser, bit of the piping, maybe some relays, I don't know. So I'm going to start pulling some of that out and see how we go. Let's try and start with the engine harness. There you have it. That's the engine loom out. Now, it wasn't too bad. Probably the hardest bit, you got this big grommet here, but if you go inside the car and you press these tabs down and push, it will come through the firewall, and then it's just pull it out. So that also has the transmission loom in it as well. So that should be everything, hopefully. That's, you know, gearbox to computer. So that's that. But whilst in here, like to get under that loom there, which is in that hole in there, I had to take the glove box off, and on the back of this, the glove box was this pipe here. I thought, what the hell is this thing? Now, I didn't really do much driving in this Statesman, so quite unsure of what the features are, but look at this. Look at this. If I open up said glove box, Now I'll just get the light so you can see here that little contraption there, and I thought, well, what is that? Which slides, opens, slides, and that's where the back of that hose goes. This has an air-conditioned glove box. Some of the things you come across, hey? Air-conditioned glove box. So if you want your gloves nice and cold, chuck them in here. And while that falls over, it also has a little hidden compartment on top of the dash. Pretty fancy, hey? Anyway, back to removing stuff. And also, you probably want to grab this piece of wiring as well, because that's your alternator and your battery terminals. So you want to keep a hold of that too. So I've just been here like a surgeon getting this grommet off, because I can't really use it on the VK because other wires have to come through this, or the hole where the harness is going to come through. So this one had to come off, and there was no way that it was going to come sliding off any wires. So I got rid of that thing where the bit where it's got the clips. I flicked that off with a screwdriver, and then I just put a cut along one edge to get it off. Now, the best way to do that is obviously with a knife, but on the edges like this here and here, you want to cut away from the wires because you don't want to hurt your wiring. That's where it came off of. I'm pretty sure I didn't cut or nick any wiring. So what I did was, as I was cutting through down, I just put the screwdriver in there and then just kind of stretched it open so I wouldn't damage the wiring, and then it'll just slowly rip apart and come off. So that's off, and technically that could probably just go straight back in to the car through the firewall into the bay and probably start connecting up. but I'm not quite ready for that yet. I want to get a few other bits and pieces of this. Still need to get the condenser, bit of stuff over there, and then once it's all ready to go, then I don't know whether I'm going to start putting it all in and do a test fire and see if it works in the car, or it's probably better to do that, so that's probably the route I'll go down. But who knows how long that's going to be before that actually gets to air, because there's a few other things I want to do in between. So I'll just randomly pluck bits from here and there and pluck it on, and you'll see it as I go along. Alright, so I have extracted the throttle cables out of both cars, and there is a fair difference between the two. The one with the yellow thing on it is from the VR, and the shorter one is from the VK. Now, I'm pretty sure that the VR one is not going to connect to the back of the pedal in the VK. Now, I don't know whether it's modify existing pedal or swap pedals over and do they fit? I don't know. I think I might take them out and have a look-see. I have some progress. I did check both pedals out, and VR1 is no way known that thing is going to fit. So I've taken out the VK one. All it is you've got a little circlip on that end there, and you take that off, and then there's a little spring that goes over the shaft over one side, which makes it spring back to the up position. I've got a photo and I'll chuck that in so you could kind of see where that's meant to go. But it looks like what I need to do is just drill out that size of the hole there to make this fit, and it should go in, or at least I'm hoping anyway. Just measured the hole on the Statesman. It's a 9mm, and what we have here is 6.5, so we need to enlarge that by 2.5mm. So I'm going to chuck the step drill bit into that and get it to the right size. Wow, would you look at that? It fits. So that's drilled out to 9mm. That fits in now. Now, to put the pedal back in before I forget how it all goes back in. Okay, not much room under here, but it's all back together. We've got our 9mm hole drilled out, so the cable will come through that hole there into the back of the pedal. That spring goes behind this little pivot thing here, clips back on, and pedal does what it's meant to do. But that's done. All I need to do is thread the cable through, and another piece of the puzzle completed. Just scrounging around for things to do, and just thought, why not hook up the throttle cable, see how that goes. Now have a look at this. Where's that pedal going? Go to the throttle body there. Full throttle. Full throttle. Wide open. Yeah, boy. So that little enlarging of the hole works quite well. May need a slight little adjustment there, but that's okay. So that worked a treat. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do now is replace some fuel hoses, because I know that one has a split in it. So I may as well do that one and the other one that goes to the other rail on the other side. I bought 1 metre of hose, so I'm going to swap that out, and so that's another job done. Well, that little bastard of a hose there has taken way too long to get off. and of course was full of stale, stinky fuel. Now, I stink, and so does the garage, but it's off. That's the main thing. Also took this off. Don't even know where I put the hose. There you go, sitting on the lawnmower there. I'll replace that one as well. And then I will replace that little beady one over there. Man, that stinks. That pipe on the back of that is a lot longer than you think. Would have been easy to do while the engine was out, but I like to be difficult and do it the hard way. Look at that. It's doing a wee. It's gushed out about a litre, let alone that whole hose holding 30 litres. Jeepers. Well, it turns out I bought the wrong size fuel hose. I bought 6.5 when I need 8mm. So I went and got a couple metres of 8mm because the return line that goes over there, and then the other side, which is the flow one, which goes in. Now on the VR, the fuel lines come up there. On this one, I've got one down there, but I've also got one over here. So I do need to reroute fuel lines. So I can't really cut any lines to size because I don't know how long they're going to be. So I'm going to do that short pipe and then put, you know, one that's a fair bit longer on here, and then I'll just trim the excess, and then I'll still have some left to go for that little hose when that time comes, when I reroute that hard line. Okay, the hoses are now on, and got that run running over there with a bit of extra on. I've probably got 20-25 centimeters extra. It probably will connect up to that pipe that's down there, but I don't know if it's the right one. I don't know if it's the return or the flow. I'll work that out later. I did receive my rear uni joint, so that's ready to change. So I could probably take the tail shaft back out, put that uni joint in, and Loctite those center bolts, and that'll be done. Well, I pulled the tail shaft out so I could redo that rear U joint, and guess what? It doesn't bloody fit. It's too small. Now measuring up, that is about 81mm. Measure that one, 65mm. I'm about 15mm too short. So that's going back. Bloody piece of junk. All right, I've done a little bit more. I have managed to get in the battery harness that goes to the starter motor and alternator. So that's in. Really lacking on motivation at the moment, so can't really be bothered, but that's pretty much where I'm going to end this video now, because motivation is lacking. But the next one, I will get the engine harness in and the fuse box back in, and we'll see if we can get this thing at least to turn over, and try and figure out some other wiring to try and get it started. It's only been, you know, a month or so since I pulled this out, and I couldn't remember how that went in, but that bracket there bolts inside the engine mount, and that's got the heat protection for the wires from the manifold so you don't cook them. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.